from Nightwatch Knives. Alex, always good to see you.
You as well, Jason.
What a beautiful array of knives.
It was a journey getting here, but I'm happy with what I was able to bring to the show.
I always enjoy coming over and visiting your table, your booth, whatever it is. Just saw you down at Blade Show, Texas.
Yep.
Just 3 months, but it's like another leap of just impressiveness. The fit and finish, the quality, the designs, this awesome jigged paper McCarthy.
Yeah, that's what I've been calling it. Yeah.
And you're doing this yourself.
Oh yeah,
making it look like stag.
with a Dremel by hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Just absolutely amazing, guys. It's uncanny because, in a way, I think I almost like it better than real stag. It has a real cool factor, kind of like the vintage faux stag that came out years and years ago.
Yeah.
They had that cool factor. This really does. And then he also has it in a butterscotch micarta that looks like an aged or amber jig bone, or what you'd see on some of the European knives, right? That stag. Just a real classic look.
I pay a lot of attention to the way I shape my handles, Jason, and I have never been comfortable with the give and take with a natural material. You know, if you want to preserve the bark, at some point you can only grind so much of it away. And this was kind of my fix for that. I do all of this rough shaping on the handle, get it to feel how I want, and then I jig it. And there's only so much that I need to grind off after that to get it perfect. So it still has the Coke bottle. Where are you going to find that in the natural material?
I mean, that to me is the real beauty of that handle material, is you can have the real cool look of stag, but as you said, God never made stag in the shape of a knife handle.
Not yet, anyway.
So this you shape first, then you jig it.
Yep.
So you get the beauty of the stag with a Coke bottle, super comfortable handle. Real secure grip, looks great, feels great, even if it's for an extended period of time.
Yep.
Talk about a couple of the models that you have and maybe some stuff that's upcoming.
Sure. Just going right to left for me, the Ajax has kind of been our flagship ever since I built it. I think that was the first knife I ever sent you, Jason.
It is.
And recently, the 2 changes I've made were I eliminated the back pinhole. It's just added work, and it's another point of failure for the scales for me. And it's in thinner stock now. I've been grinding them out of 1/8 inch stock, and the return on that has been a lighter knife, which is one of the core tenets of what we do here. And it's, we use AEBL. It's been around forever. We all know how well it performs. Making it thinner is not costing us anything except added weight.
No, so my takeaway from it was I like the Ajax. I love this knife.
Yeah.
It doesn't, lighter, sometimes people will have a connotation that it's cheaper.
Right.
That's not the case.
No.
It's going to cut better. It's going to perform better. It feels faster in hand. It's more comfortable. It checks all the boxes. It is night and day different from the original Ajax. It just elevated it. I love it. I love the change.
To your point, for people who are not so much in the know, making a lighter knife is very difficult for a knife maker. It's a very intentional thing, and there's a lot that goes into that, like tapering tangs when we do it, and adding weight relief in places where it'll remove weight but not compromise the strength of the handle. That was kind of the concept I was chasing when I went after I attacked the drop point hunter that everyone makes and landed at the belter. This one's got a fuller in it, but the belter is just what you see is what you get. It is a compact drop point hunter with a fantastic Coke bottle and a very neutral, comfortable grip that will perform like a knife twice its size. You're an avid hunter, Jason. You tell me, hold this thing, tell me what game animal you could not break down with that knife.
Unless it's super large game like moose.
Yeah.
Just about anything you're going to find in the United States, other than Alaska, sure, I would take care of an animal like this. Was that about a 3.5 inch blade on it?
Yeah.
Feels 3.5 inch blade, nice, full size, comfortable handle.
3.4.
Yeah. So you get a good, comfortable grip on the handle. You're always in control of the blade, which is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Variety of grips. You can get up in there, field dressing, open it up. I love this knife. For EDC, not everybody's a hunter. Great size for the EDC. If you're working on the weekend, want to carry a belt knife, tremendous choice.
Yeah.
The Belter, great knife.
One of the things that I like about this pattern too is it's kind of a blank canvas. If you are a Scandi grind guy, it lends itself to that. A hollow grind is my default, but I can do an insane duplex grind on these things. Tom Krein is over here right behind me. I've been eyeballing his knives for years and finally decided to teach myself how to do it. I am very happy with the way these duplex grinds turn out. I will keep doing them until I figure out a way to screw them up. And I kind of carried that concept into this guy, which is newer. This is the Ozias. And it's even smaller. It's even lighter. I would be hard-pressed, again, to find a typical knife task, be it hunting, gathering, EDC, that this thing doesn't do. And the way it separates your fingers, there's no uncomfortable way to wrap your hand around this thing. Still the pinch grip, the beveled scale faces, which has come to kind of be our trademark. Plenty of retention there. That's the kind of thing that makes you nervous. You're not going to have that issue with this knife. And I went ahead and rounded out that area so you're not catching on a sharp edge. It punches way above its weight class, and Jason will tell you that.
Surprisingly comfortable in hand.
Yeah.
For such a small knife. Small knives are great because you carry them, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the knife, it doesn't do you any good. Big knives are fun, but I find myself carrying smaller knives sometimes.
Sure.
Because of work, because of stores you're going in, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a knife that you can easily carry in a variety of situations, but surprisingly comfortable. I like this knife a lot. Another great choice. Great EDC. Tremendously fun lines on it, too. What a beautiful knife. Great profile.
I'll try not to bend your ear too much. I want to get through the rest of these. Mike and Jimmy Stewart at Bark River Knives are dear friends of mine, and this was a very playful jab at them both. I know Mike has the Canadian belt knife series that he likes so much. I tried to think of some very earlier, simple patterns that came out of the Americas, and what I landed at is what I refer to as the American belt knife. There is not a single bell and whistle on this thing. I didn't even grind a swedge into it. Some of them are fancier, but this is kind of a bare bones American belt knife, and this thing is everything you want and nothing you don't. Out of my own personal collection, this is probably the one I carry the most. It disappears on your waist. There's nothing to it. There's no uncomfortable way to hold it. It's razor sharp because of how tall that hollow grind is. And I like mine with a taper tang, incidentally.
Just disappears in your hand.
Yeah.
Nice and thin.
Yeah.
Big enough that you can actually do some stuff with it.
Yeah.
Again, about a 3.5 inch blade, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Let's see. 3.5.
Yep. So real nice profile. Nice classy lines. Not showy, not flowery, but it works.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of Jim and Mike, for years and years, the Fox River was one of their best-selling knives.
Mhm.
If you look at that profile, it's
Very
very
similar.
simplistic handle.
Yeah.
But yet, when you put it in your hand, it's like, this is simplistic, but it works.
Yeah.
It feels good. LT Wright, a lot of their handles are not shaped a lot. They're more simplistic.
Yeah.
But almost every one of LT's knives, when I put it in my hand, they say, this is a tremendously comfortable knife.
Yeah.
I love this knife. This reminds me of that. Great choice, the American built knife.
Appreciate that. So something new that is just here for the show. This is called the Tincture, and I wanted to do more of an exotic, aggressive shape in a compact knife. This is where I landed. There's not much to say about it other than its shape. It speaks for itself. I do a fair bit of contouring on most of my knives, and this one is so small, it just lends itself to a subtle barrel profile. What's cool about it is the way it settles into your hand, because it doesn't look like a four-finger knife, but it absolutely is.
It's a really neat design. That was the first thing I thought when I picked it up. I didn't think it was necessarily going to be that comfortable. I was surprised how comfortable it was. And who doesn't love that blade shape?
Yeah.
You know, I think some of your blade shapes are just so fun and cool, and this one definitely checks that box. Really sexy lines on this knife, but yet really comfortable. Great little EDC, guys.
This is my answer to some of the earlier Fisk, like the Cinero style hunters. I like that shape. It needed to be a little bit more Alex Harrison, so I modified the lines a little bit, but I love the two-finger split. And every time I've designed a knife around that, it's been one of the more comfortable patterns I have. 1/8 inch stock, soldered guard. There's nothing pretentious or fancy about this knife, but it's a ultra lightweight, super capable hunter. And if you're the kind of guy that has to have a guard, this knife fits the bill. It's called the Kestrel.
Kestrel, once again, a really great choice. Good looking knife. The handles that you do with the split like that are always remarkably comfortable. We always get customers that are kind of on the fence,
Yeah.
and then they buy it and they're like, this is one of the most comfortable handles that I own.
It's weird, but it tracks.
Yeah, guy that a lot of people know in the DLT community, Dutch Morris. Dutch was one of the guys that told me that he bought one, and he was shocked. He's like, I cannot believe how comfortable this knife is.
And last but not least, this is something that there are two people I consult on anything historical. That's Dr. Grace Horn and Dr. Rachel Parikh, and both of them have been on the Mark of the Maker podcast multiple times. They're wonderful human beings. And the reason I had a chat with them about this is because I built this knife. When I'm sketching it, I look at it and I said to myself, this has got a distinctly European look from the guard forward, and from the guard back, it's American. And I was looking for a play on words for this. It's kind of a mid-sized field knife. It's a 5-inch blade. And where I landed was very tongue-in-cheek, but it makes everyone smile. This knife is called the Lusitania. And if you're not much of a history buff, look it up. It was kind of the inciting incident for, one of the world wars. Lusitania is, for me, a marriage of the best of the two schools of design, and it lends itself to a work knife that is lighter than it looks like it should be, comfortable just about every way you can hold this, and as capable as a knife, twice its size.
Yeah, so I agree. When I look at the blade, I think German hunting knife, right? I mean, that's what it looks like, American handle. If you look, there's a negative angle to the blade, so draw cuts, this thing is really going to slice. Bigger game, elk, moose, that size animal, this is going to be a tremendous choice. Also going to be a really good camp knife, nice and thin like this. This thing would check a lot of boxes that you need a bigger knife.
Yep.
So, Alex, we really appreciate the opportunity for you to show off some of your knives.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure the folks will wonder, do you have any coming to DLT anytime soon?
Yes. You and I have talked about it before. The plan is, as soon as I get back from Atlanta, I'm going to start work on the belters. And there will be a couple of different formats, a couple of different grinds, just so I don't get bored. But this is the best, in my opinion, all-around knife on this table right now. We've just done Ajaxes recently. I don't want to throw some more of those out there. So the belter will be the next thing that you will see from DLT.
Okay, guys, look for the belter coming soon to DLT. Honestly, one of my favorites, too. There's a few that I really like, but the belter is definitely one of them. A lot of great stuff. For guys that aren't familiar, again, Night Watch Knives, Alex Harrison. Thanks again, Alex.
Thank you for your time, Jason.